panelist. If you are here for the 3 secrets to finally get the referrals you deserve from CPAs and attorneys, you are in the right place. You're going to go ahead and get started in just a second. Okay, so you are now, there you go.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Can everybody else see you? Yes. Awesome.
I wish I could see myself. That's all right. I don't need to see myself.
You know what you look like.
I do. That's why I wanted to see myself. Do I have a weird halo around my glasses?
You have a glare, which is why I took mine off.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got this really great circle light, and I freaking love it, but I can't wear my glasses. And luckily, I'm not totally blind, so.
That is helpful. So we are good whenever you are ready, sir.
All right. Well, so thanks everybody for coming on the 3 secrets that finally get you referrals that you deserve from CPAs and attorneys. I have had the privilege of not only being on Seth's podcast, but also having him on our podcast. I love his system. We're working together on a bunch of great initiatives. His energy is amazing, but I want to give you a quick introduction to who he is. He is the nation's foremost authority on getting real, regular referrals from CPAs and attorneys. Seth is also the co-host of the Sharkpreneur. Man, dude, you know what? That really wasn't the easiest word to say. Podcast with Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington, just named as one of the top 10 podcasts listened to in 2019 by NASDAQ. That's freaking awesome. Make sure that if you have any questions or you want to know more about direct marketing and direct response marketing, go to marketdominationllc.com. He is a 7-time best-selling author who has been interviewed on NBC, CNBC, Forbes, pretty much freaking everywhere. And we're really, really happy to bring Seth's thought leadership to the webinar today. So Seth, go ahead and take away. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Can you switch host back to me?
If I figure out how to do that, abso-freaking-lutely.
If you go to participants.
There you go. And I'm going to turn my camera off.
Okay.
You're in, brother.
Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody can see and hear me and see and hear my screen. Awesome. All right, so 3 secrets to finally get the referrals you deserve from CPAs and attorneys. So this means no more doing continuing education for those accountants. This means no more doing seminars to try and impress them or get their business. This means, most importantly, no more sending referrals in the hopes of getting excuses back. We'll talk about how I've done all of those things, and you probably have too. I'm Seth Green. Quick question, if you could type in the chat box for me, what percentage of prospects do you close? If you see 10 people, 10 new prospects, how many of them become clients? Type in the chat box for me. We're going to make this interactive. Aaron says 1. Okay, I see 2. I see 4. I see 3. I see 6 from Eric. Eric, you're in the lead right now. Awesome. All right. Right fit 7, says Chad. If we've got the right fit, awesome. So I got anywhere from 1 to 7. 7 is pretty awesome. Do you think that percentage, for those of you who, you know what, for everybody, would that go up if they came from their CPA and attorney? If they walked in the door and said, my CPA or attorney told me to talk to you, do you think that would go? Yep, people are already typing yes. Awesome. Matt has trained you well to answer the actual questions. Awesome. All right. So what is a client worth to you? I know it's going to vary depending on if you're doing annuities or life insurance or assets under management or a combination of all 3. And obviously how much money they've got affects it. But give me a range. Average client, how much are they worth to you? First year commissions, including any AUM fees or trails. Give me some type of range. And again, type that in the chat box for me. And this also gives me excuse to keep drinking water throughout the webinar. 3,000 to 10,000 a year, 5,000, 2,000, 8,000. Awesome. Okay. If you will stay to the end with me, I'm going to bribe you. This is my book, my 8th book that is not out yet. It is the Ultimate Financial Advisor Marketing System. 20 to 250K trade. Chad, awesome. I appreciate that. Chad, type it in the chat box as opposed to the Q&A. So I will give you a free copy, a free physical copy of my next book, The Ultimate Financial Advisor Marketing System, if you stay till the end. So stick with me. I know we may have had some time zone issues. Some people may be thinking they're supposed to show up at 3 p.m. It's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So they'll see the recording of this. Okay, so let's dive in. This is Roger Bannister. If you don't know who he is, on May 6, 1954, he was the first human being to break the 4-minute mile, meaning he ran a mile in under 4 minutes. The interesting thing is, before Roger Bannister did it, it was told you couldn't do it. No one could do it. Doctors said the human body couldn't run that fast, that your heart would explode, that you would die if you ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. And the really cool thing, the really interesting thing is once Roger Bannister did it, everybody else was suddenly able to do it. All these people who had tried and tried and tried and couldn't do it because they thought they were going to die suddenly did it. In fact, over 1,400 runners have clocked 4-minute miles in competition since then. And there's literally a major motion picture starring Kim Basinger about the 4-minute mile. My 4-minute mile was I wanted to work at Merrill Lynch when I started 20 some years ago. You see, I did an internship at Merrill Lynch my senior year of undergrad, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But at the end of that, I did the internship, and then I graduated college, and I went back and I interviewed at Merrill Lynch, and I wanted to work there as a financial advisor. And I met with a regional recruiter who said, no, we don't hire rookies. Go get your licenses. Go build a book of business somewhere else for 5 years. If you survive 5 years, come back, and then we'll talk. And I said, thanks so much for nothing. But during that interview, he said why I should work at Merrill Lynch was because of all the technology they had 20 years ago, all of the cool resources and the brand name, and that they had leveraged these. And one of their newer advisors, like 5 years and out, had just landed a 9-figure pension account, $100 million pension fund. And he mentioned the pension fund 3 times in the course of the interview, including telling me the name of the pension fund. We'll get back to that in just a minute. So I couldn't go work at Merrill Lynch, so I went to work at A.G. Edwards, which doesn't exist anymore because it went in the 07-08 bubble burst. It got bought out by Wachovia, and then Wachovia got bought out by Wells Fargo. But I started out at A.G. Edwards I started out in the industry back in the late 90s. And my my holy grail, my 4-minute mile was I wanted to get in the door without cold calling, because my branch manager, we'll talk about him in just a minute. He's a whole nother story. The reason you're here today is that I found and legendary marketing guru Dan Kennedy, and my wife was nice enough after I begged her for 30 days in a row to let me borrow the money that was more than our new mortgage to go hire Dan, to learn direct response marketing from Dan. And we ultimately developed the strategy I'm going to share with you today. Because the first thing Dan said to me when I started working with him after I wrote him that really big check and almost had a heart attack was, you have to be seen as an expert. And I said, that's great. I'm 22. Like, I haven't looked younger. This was 20 years ago, and I looked even younger then than I do now. And at 22, how am I going to get seen as an expert? I don't even know anything yet. And he said, you're going to write a book. That is the fastest way to become an expert. And I said, that's great, Dan. That's a great idea, except I'm 22 and I don't know anything yet. What am I going to write a book about? And he said, your first homework assignment is to read this book. It's called Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you've read it, type in the chat box, yes, if you've read Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill for me. Give me a yes in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Every year. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. I also reread it every year. Dennis says yes. Everybody says yes. Awesome. If you haven't read it, Google it. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to Amazon. Get it for $5 or download the PDF and print it if you want. The best book on success and personal development ever written. But what I realized in reading Think and Go Rich is it's an interview book. Napoleon Hill, thanks to Andrew Carnegie, if you don't know the story, interviewed 500 of the richest and most successful people of his time back in the 1900s, and then wrote a book about what he learned, and that turned into Think and Grow Rich. So I said to Dan, I could do an interview book. I can interview people, and I will learn something, and I will write about it, and then I will be perceived as an expert. Does that work? And he said, yes, it does. But in the meantime, while I was working on that book, my branch manager had said, hey, try taking accountants and attorneys to lunch and networking and getting business from them. Maybe you've tried that. And that didn't, I started doing that. But in the meantime, to start off writing my book, I remembered the name of the pension fund that the Merrill Lynch recruiter had mentioned 3 times in his interview. A couple of years had gone by. It was Laborers Local 210. I called up Laborers Local 210. I asked for the president of the union, of the board of trustees, and I didn't try and sell them anything. I didn't try and get an appointment. I said, I want to interview you for a book that I'm writing on, financial planning and money management and that kind of stuff. And he said, sure, come on in. And it'd been 4 years since I had interviewed at Merrill Lynch. And I interviewed him, and he said, you're never going to believe this, but every 4 years, we have to put our pension fund out to bid. We have to allow any financial advisor who wants to pitch for our business so that we can say we did our due diligence in evaluating options of money managers. Do you want to, I've really enjoyed this interview process. Do you want to come pitch? And I said, yes, I do. And then I frantically called my home office and said, how the heck do how do I pitch for a $100 million pension fund? I don't even know how to manage that. Like, I don't even know what to do. And they said, don't worry, we're going to do it for you. We're going to write the pitch. We're going to practice with you, and we'll do all the money management. I said, and you get paid. I said, awesome. So I went to pitch day at the union. I was the new guy. So I was the last person advisor to pitch. And when I went into this conference room, there were literally 6 business cards lined up on the table of every single advisor, including the one who already had the pension funds business, who had pitched that day. And I did something then that I wouldn't do now, because 20 years ago, I was more arrogant, more cocky, and less polished than I am now. I picked up every single one of those business cards, put them in a little pile, ripped them in half, threw them on the ground, and said, you don't need these anymore. And I took my book and I dropped it on the table. I paid extra for hardcover, makes a nice thud. And then I slid a copy down to every single one of the members of the board of trustees, and I made my presentation. Now, every other advisor had gone home because the board had told them, we will tell you tomorrow what our decision is. I finished my pitch and they said, go wait outside. And I said, oh my God, like, I don't know. I'm sweating bullets like George Costanza. I sat there for half an hour, like sweat literally pouring, going, oh my God, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Why did they tell me to wait? Like, did I do something wrong? And they called me back in, and the president said, we were split. Half of the board thought you were really arrogant and a cocky young punk. And our treasurer said that was really disrespectful that you ripped up those business cards. And he literally said he wanted to punch you in the face. And I took a step back in case he took a swing at me. And I said, what did the other half of the room say? And he said, the other half of the board said they wanted to give you the business because you're the only one who wrote a book. Everybody else had a business card and a slide deck. You had a book. And I said, you know, goosebumps, like pins and needles, like which half won? And he said, you got the business because you wrote the book. And I said, oh my God. I became a company hero overnight. I got written about in the A.G. Edwards newsletter. I got asked to do teleseminars because there was no webinar back then, for other offices telling the story of how I had done that. And obviously landed a $100 million account. And the really cool part was I got a phone call. I got validation from Merrill Lynch. 3 months later, because it takes a while to move $100 million, I got a phone call from Merrill Lynch, the regional recruiter, saying, we'd like to offer you a position with Merrill Lynch on the condition that you bring back our pension fund. And I said, I'll tell you what. I was, again, obnoxious, a little bit more obnoxious back then. And I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you deal with without your pension fund for the next 5 years, go build other business somewhere else and call me back and we can talk. And then I hung up on the recruiter. So I wouldn't do that either, but it worked out. And then other advisors started asking me how to do what I did. And it literally, as Matt mentioned, has turned into a service that we've been doing for years, to not get you $100 million pension accounts, but to get you referrals from CPAs and attorneys. And I'll tell you about that in just a minute, how you can do it too. This is David Braun, whose program we did. And he says, I won't read you the whole thing, but he says the book has been a huge success. The response has been very positive. That's literally how he typed. Your process wasn't what expected. It took longer than I thought. You got me in front of accountants and attorneys I otherwise never could have met. I've gotten referrals and business from them, and my book isn't even out yet. I'm very happy with my results so far. This is Lori Ellis McLeod, who is in Madison, Wisconsin, and she wanted to get in front of business owners. So she did a book, Make Smart Choices with Your Madison Business. You can see those are a couple of the people at her book signing party, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And you can see up on the top right, she was number 4 in Amazon for finance and number 20 for entrepreneurship on the bestseller list, which is really awesome. This is Carmine Party here in Western New York in my backyard, where he got to number 5 in retirement. And what would it, I just got to ask really quick, what would it look like if you got regular referrals every single month from accountants and attorneys into your practice? What would that do for you? Give me a 1-sentence answer in the chat box. Would totally reinvent my practice, would make life great. I wouldn't have to do much other marketing. That's the holy grail. Awesome. All right, so quick question. I want to make sure we're doing this for the right people. Type in the chat box, are you a financial advisor? Are you an insurance agent? Are you an RIA, or are you some hybrid combination of those groups? Aaron says it would dramatically improve my business. I'm an RIA. Awesome. RIA, advisor, RIA, insurance, RIA, CFP. Awesome. Okay, so you're in the right place. Okay, so this will work for you if you are one of those people. If you've got 30 minutes to an hour a week, and if you're coachable. We've literally done this, I think we're up to like 78 times. So we've broken it more times than you can imagine, and hopefully have worked all the kinks out. We haven't had a issue the last few dozen times we've done it. So if you are coachable and willing to do what we tell you or follow our process, this will absolutely work for you. It's also for you if you're tired of being one of the best kept secrets in your town. Am I sharing my camera? Is my camera not on?
You're on.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. That was a text from earlier. I apologize. Okay, so again, let's dive into the 3 secrets that will finally get you the referrals you deserve from CPAs and attorneys. The secret is, and we're going to tell you how to do this, the secret is you're going to write a book, but you're not going to write it. My goal for this web class is for you to realize the only way for you to get regular referrals from CPAs and attorneys is to write a book. And the only way to write a book without having to write it that gets CPAs and attorneys to give you referrals is through this program. Before I dive into how you're going to do this, Matt, I know you tried to write a book by actually writing it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that process before I dive into mine?
I do. And in fact, I just want to say one of the main reasons why I really wanted to have Seth talk to everybody is because if I would have known that this system was in place, I would have totally done this. So my first book was actually published by a publishing house, which was Bloomberg Finance. It took 2 years to get the book to market. And by the time the book came to market, the screenshots were obsolete. It was a social media book. It was horrible. I probably rewrote the book more times than I wrote the book. Now, then my second book, which is just a cookbook, right? It's the 99 Best Ideas for Financial Advisors. It's a very, very short book. Still took 9 months.
Wow.
And if you have the book, which a lot of you do, you'll see very quickly that there's not a lot of text in there, and it still took 9 months. So when I interviewed Seth initially for the Top Advisor Marketing podcast, and he told me about what he did, and of course I do my due diligence for the guests, one of the first things that I said to him was, man, I wish I would have known about you for the first 2 books. And in fact, just so everybody knows, this is on our agenda to use Seth's system within Top Advisor Marketing to publish multiple books, because not only how convincing everything that Seth's saying, but this is my own personal experience. Both of those books got me unbelievable amounts of business. So, all right, Seth, that's my story.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. I wish you had known about us before, but obviously we're super excited. Full disclosure, I am a client of Matt's. Matt's program, we have hired Matt to do work for us. And obviously we're looking, we're serving you as well. So the relationship goes back and forth. But obviously my goal is, if I can make you believe that the only way to get real regular referrals from CPAs and attorneys is to put them in a book, then you agree to go all in. Is this then going to be a co-authored book or ghostwritten? Neither. Stay with me, Chad. We're going to get to that. It is neither co-authored nor ghostwritten. Okay, so what does going all in mean? So I speak at a lot of industry conferences. I was just flew to Tampa for the day a week ago for a meeting and got stuck overnight in the Atlanta airport. This guy is not all in. This guy is all in. He is dedicated, man. He's all in. And what does all in mean in this example? I'm going to make you an offer at the end of this presentation, and I am going to suggest that you write me a check for $27,000. Now, 1, you're going to think it's actually the biggest bargain of the century when it comes to your marketing. But 2, most importantly, you're not going to pay $27,000. You're not going to pay anywhere near that. In fact, if you really want, I'll show you how to get it for free. But if you were going to write a $27,000 check, how many clients do you need to cover that? Whether you're doing life insurance, whether you're doing annuities, whether you're doing AUM, a number of you mentioned your average client value first year was somewhere between $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a year. So you don't need, if you were going to write a check for $27,000, maybe you need 10 clients, maybe you need 3 clients, somewhere between 3 and 10, and this is paid for itself. And obviously the goal is to get you clients every single month. But you are literally just 1 book away from actual referrals on a regular basis from CPAs and attorneys. I can't see you. This is a webinar as opposed to a live stage presentation. So raise I can't ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. So just type all in if you will agree to go all in with me when I get you to believe that this will actually work. So give me all in. Yep. Okay. So you're already typing all in the chat box. Awesome. Okay. So again, as I started all in. Awesome. All right. So I started out at AG Edwards. And when I got back from getting my Series 7 and my 65 and my 66, and I got back from training in St. Louis, my branch manager says, first day of production, I got you a book where all your clients are going to come from your entire career. And I said, oh my God, I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to buy a Ferrari. This is going to be great. Give me the book. And he literally handed me the phone book. Some of you are too young to remember. That is the Yellow Pages. And he said, they're all in there, Tiger, go get them. And I didn't know any better. So I made 300 cold calls a day, every day, interrupting strangers, asking for money. Give me a cold calling sucks in the chat box if you've ever had to cold call for business. Type it sucks, it sucks. Yes, all right, LOL, that counts. So I didn't enjoy that very much. 300 dials. I can still remember the formula. 300 dials equals 60 contacts. 60 contacts equals 15 people who will let you send them information. 5 of them will agree to appointments. 3 of them will actually show up. And because you're a rookie, you'll close 1. Make 300 dials a day. You'll get 1 client a day. Do that long enough and survive and don't kill yourself, and you'll have a book of business and a career. So I said, is there anything else I can do besides this cold calling thing? Because it really sucks and the phone feels like it weighs 300 pounds. He says, sure, we've got these orphan accounts. Their financial advisor left. They haven't been assigned to anybody. You can go out, meet with them, do a review, and try and get some business that way. So I whipped out my credit card. I did that. I bought and I didn't get anywhere. And I said, what else can I do? He said, well, when you meet with the orphan account, ask them who their accountant and attorney is. Take that accountant and attorney to lunch. You've got a client in common. Network with them and try and get business. I whipped out my credit card. It didn't work. They all took my money for breakfast or lunch. No one ever sent me any business. And we can talk about all the excuses they gave me later. So he said, they're not seeing you as an expert. Carl, my branch manager, oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say his name. My branch manager said, you need to be an expert. Like you need to offer CPE credits. So I paid the money, got registered to do that, did seminars. That didn't work. I said, what else you got? He said, whip out your credit card, join some networking groups, join BNI, join the Chamber of Commerce. But relationships of trust and confidence take years to develop, right? You don't show up for the first meeting and get referrals. So I whipped out my credit card and I hired some of these guys in the industry who said, hey, we can help you partner with CPAs. But what they really do is just cold call and get a meeting with CPAs, and they ask them if they want referrals. And the CPAs say, sure. And they don't say, are you going to give referrals back? Because when you go meet with the CPA and say, hey, I'd like to send you referrals, they say, sure. And when you say, I'd like some referrals back, nothing happens. So I got this. I got 0, no results found. But everything changed when I did my book. It worked so well, it got me written about in Registered Rep magazine. It got me written about in Insurance Newsnet. And as Matt mentioned, I've been on NBC, CBS, Forbes, and Inc. This is my wonderful family. That is my awesome wife, Rebecca, our son, Max, and our daughters, Lily and Ella. And they're actually, that's at my book signing, which was super cool. My first one at Barnes & Noble, because my 7th book, Market Domination for Podcasting, is actually on the shelves at Barnes & Noble now. You can literally go to your local Barnes & Noble and buy my book. I won't be there to sign it, but it's really cool that it's also on the shelves of Walmart at Target. So I told my wife she had to buy a copy at Target. So I got some money back from Target considering how much we spend there. Those are the 7 of my books. The really cool part I'll tell you about is my family's gotten into it now. My daughter is now on her 2nd book and she is 10. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Here are your 3 secrets. So if you're taking notes, you want to start writing this down. But before we get into that real quick, how many referrals did you get last month from CPAs and attorneys? Give me a number in the chat box. And that number, it's okay if it's 0. 1, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we're going to dramatically, 0, 0. We're dramatically going to increase that number. So here are the 3 secrets. I'm going to give them to you all at once, and then we're going to break each one down. So you want to write these down. The first secret is you're going to write a book without writing it. Number 2, you're going to throw a party. And number 3, you're going to stay in touch. So it is a simple process, but it is not easy because there are a whole lot of steps. So number 1, you're going to write a book without writing it. Remember, Think and Grow Rich was an interview book. And I got that Union Pension Fund by interviewing them for their chapter in my book. What you're going to do is you're going to interview the accountants and attorneys and other related professionals that you want referrals from. And when you interview people, you are essentially a reporter. So you get to ask them anything you want, why they would want to be in your book. Well, this is Mary Kay from Mary Kay Cosmetics, Mary Kay Ash. And she says the 2 things people want more than sex and money are recognition and praise. And your accountant gets yelled every time they tell you how much money you owe in taxes. You're not happy most of the time. Right? And your attorney, someone's suing you, you're suing somebody, it's never happy, right? When was the last time someone let them talk about themselves for like an hour about how fabulous they are and was really interested in it. It doesn't happen that often, right? Except in this case, because you're going to interview them for the book in a way that gets them to talk about themselves, in a way that gets them to love you for it, and in a way that gets them to want to tell the world about this project. So you've got to identify who your end user ideal client is, and then who are the related professionals that serve that. So that might be accountants. You want referrals from accountants, put them in a book. You want referrals from divorce attorneys, put them in a book. We have a client who has a book called Going From We to Me, which is all about divorce because she is a certified divorce financial analyst. You want referrals from estate attorney, and I'm going to go through a giant stack of books in just a minute. You want referrals from estate attorneys, put them in a book. You want referrals from real estate attorneys, put them in a book. You want referrals from business attorneys, put them in a book. You want referrals, we got someone who wanted referrals from funeral home directors, you could put them in a book. We got Roadmap to Retirement. We got Aging in Place. We got Secure Your Future. We got Stop Hiding from the IRS. You want referrals from nursing home directors. We had a general, this is, here's Charlie. Charles Wood, Medicaid, Getting the Help You Need at a Difficult Time, Conversations with Texas Medicaid Planning Experts. And now he's doing seminars at nursing homes where they hand out copies of his book to all the people. We talked about Aging in Place. You want referrals from long-term care facilities. Put them in a book. You want referrals from reverse mortgage brokers, put them in a book. You want referrals from travel agents, put them in a book. So whoever you want referrals from, you're going to interview them in order to get them to share that message. And you need a magnetic marketing campaign that's going to get those people to say yes to you, because you're not going to cold call them because you're the expert. Remember, you're writing a book. You don't have time. You theoretically would have your publishing company reach out on your behalf with a multi-step, multimedia marketing approach to get them to say yes. And that's one of my favorite books on the topic, Outrageous Multi-Step Marketing Campaigns That Are Outrageously Successful, by one of my mentors, Bill Glazer. Now, when you meet with the CPA and attorney to do the interview, you are going to record it and you're going to have it transcribed, which means someone is going to type up every single word that is said during that interview. It needs to be edited because the way we talk isn't the way people read. You've got to get rid of the run-on sentences. You've got to add punctuation. You've got to get rid of the ums and the uhs and the you-knows and the likes and the start over sentences and stuff like that. And then you need it graphically designed. You need it laid out to look like a physical bookstore book, because that's what it is. So if you want referrals, you're going to write a book, you're going to put them in a book, and you're going to write it by interviewing them as opposed to writing it yourself. Does that make sense? Do you get the concept? Give me a yes if you get the concept. Yes. Yes, I get it. I get it. I get it. Yes. Awesome. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Hey, this is Paul Partridge from HaydenRock.com. Hey, this is Paul Partridge from HaydenRock.com. Just wanted to take 2 minutes to say what our experience has been on the podcast. We have one called the Accounting Success Podcast, and we've had a number of really great guests. People seem to be thrilled to just to be asked to be on it. So that part is great. It's been great for us getting our word out. But kind of on the results side, our book is about a month from being published. And before it's even published, we already have clients that are signing up from the podcast. So in terms of return on investment, we'll already have fees in excess of anything we paid, certainly to Seth and his team, before the book even gets published. So we're way ahead of the game. We feel like we're only in the second or third inning. And so by the time we get to inning number 9, it's going to be even better. But it's off to a great start, and we couldn't be happier.
Okay. So Paul mentioned a podcast because you're going to record that interview. And in addition to turning that recording into a chapter in the book, you're also, if your compliance department will let you, or if you don't have one, we were also going to air that episode we're going to edit it and air it as a podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. And that way you have a podcast for the accountant and attorney to talk about and say, hey, look, I was interviewed on this show. And then when the book comes out, they promote the book because now they're in the book, and they promoted you twice. And literally, as you saw, Paul got clients from the podcast that more than covered anything they paid us before the book was even done. Past performance, no guarantee of future success. Insert standard legal disclaimers here. All right, so step 1 is write a book without writing it. Step 2 is throw a party. Step 3 is stay in touch. Let's talk about a party. So this is a book signing party, a book launch party, where you and all of the folks who were interviewed in the book, they are going to bring their clients, they're going to bring their spouses, they're going to bring their partners, they're going to bring their family members and friends and prospects. Why would an accountant invite their clients to come to a book signing party? Take a guess. Give me an answer in the chat box. Why would an accountant invite their clients to come to a book signing party? Give me an answer. Eric, Chad, Aaron, Eric, what do you think? Linda, what do you think? Recognition and praise. You took the quote right from the webinar. I love it because they're in it. Aaron, absolutely right. They're going to invite their clients to come see them be in a book signing party where they get to sign autographs and get their picture taken. When was the last time the accountant was a hero? Like next to never, right? When was the last time they got to go to a book signing party and sign autographs? Never. So this is a huge ego stroke for them, and they want other people to see them be awesome. So they are literally going to fill the room for you. This is one of our clients' book signing party. One picture wasn't it like you couldn't get the entire restaurant. That's how full it was. And they get excited to invite their clients. Like when was the last time one of your prospects was excited about your retirement planning seminar? You know, nobody goes to, I mean, maybe about the rubber chicken. Nobody's like, man, that was the best asset allocation PowerPoint I've ever seen. I mean, they don't get excited. But when was they've never been to a book signing party. So like they're literally thrilled that they get to come and they literally tell everybody for you. Now we have a 27-step process to throwing a great book signing party. We don't have time to get into it now, but it is done for you if you allow us to do the work. But if any of you if you're doing seminar marketing now, how many invitations do you have to mail? Like 5,000, 10,000? How many people might show up? Maybe 20? How many book appointments? Maybe you get 10. Everybody's been invited to a seminar before. You're not the first free dinner invitation they got in the mail. They've probably been to one before, and they're not really that exciting. But how many people have ever been to a book signing party? Unless you're like in publishing in New York City, like never, right? What if you only mailed 100 people and 80% of them showed up? What if you didn't have to give a PowerPoint, a sales pitch, and you didn't have to sell it all? It's because it's a party. Parties are fun. The party and the people in the book do all the work. So if you want referrals, you're going to put the referral source in a book and then throw a party where they get to be the stars with you. Does that make sense? Do you see how the party could generate a huge amount of social proof, a huge amount of people in the room who are now the source of authority? It's your book, and they're all now excited to meet you. Give me a yes in the chat box if that makes sense to you. Yes, yes, yes. Wouldn't that be nice? Yes, it would. Awesome. All right. So we've talked about how to write a book without writing it by interviewing the people you want referrals from and then getting that turned into a book. And it's not just the interviews. There should also be chapters about you and what you do and what your offerings are and obviously your story and why you're fabulous. And we'll get into that in just a minute. We talked about why you should throw a book launch party and how people get really excited about it and how the people in the book will do all the work in terms of filling the room for you. And number 3, you've got to stay in touch. Now, you saw Paul and David both talk about how they got business before the book was even done. Then there's a tsunami of business a tsunami of people at the party where they'll sign the sign-in sheet. We have a proven multi-step follow-up process to all of them to get them to want to meet with you. But then you've got to stay in touch with those accountants and attorneys so that it doesn't die off. We want that tsunami to just keep going up. So you've got to keep in touch. And what we suggest is that you have a monthly networking group, kind of like a BNI chapter, except you own it and there's no rules. And you're the only advisor in the room. And everyone else in the room is the accountants, attorneys, and professionals who are in the book. So when you get together for breakfast or lunch or whatever it is every single month, what's it going to remind them to do? Buy more books, hand more books out, send you more referrals, and cross-promote each other. So you've got to stay in touch so that every single month they grab more books, they hand them out, you get more business, and you've got your own little referral generation army. So you're going to write a book without writing it. You're going to throw a party, and then you're going to stay in touch. How many of you are excited about what we're talking about? Give me a I'm excited in the chat box. Excited, excited. Woohoo! Yep, exciting idea. Awesome, awesome. All right, but you might feel a little bit like this guy, like you're drinking from a fire hose, because I'm throwing a ton of information out at you. I'm making the steps seem simple, but obviously there's like 52 steps we execute, not counting the 27 to the steps to a great book signing party to get this all done for you. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because now you see how this could work in your practice and how you can actually, we'll talk about, is it okay if I share with you how you can get it all done for you? Matt, is that all right if I share with them how they can get us to do all the work? Yes, Matt says yes. Okay. So again, write a book without writing it, throw a party, stay in touch. That's my wonderful, amazing, beautiful wife, Rebecca. That's Max, Ella, and Lily. Now, here's the really cool part about me having done this process. That Max is our star soccer goalie. He is on an Elite 2. He's actually playing 3 different teams this coming season. It starts in a couple weeks because he's an amazing goalie. And up until last year, when he moved to a more competitive league, he was in a league where there were volunteer dads coaching travel soccer. So I coached all 24 seasons, 8 years, other than travel, never missed a game, never missed a practice. Now he's at a elite team that they have professional soccer coaches, no volunteer dads, but I am still at take him to and from every single practice, and I'm at every game. Ella is our actress. This is her playing Annie and Annie. The super coolest part was last summer, we got a phone call on a Friday saying, we'd like Ella to come audition for the part of young Anna in Frozen on Broadway. Can she be here Monday? And they didn't know we didn't live in Manhattan. So I rescheduled all my meetings on Monday, pulled Ella from school, bought plane tickets last minute, not cheap, and flew her to New York City because her mother had a PTA, mommy had a PTA meeting, and the other kids had school, so they couldn't leave. So I flew Ella to New York. She auditioned, and then we spent the day walking around Broadway, Times Square. I showed her where I used to live, like it was an Ella and Daddy Take Manhattan day. And she didn't get the part, but what she is right now, literally in a pilot project for Disney, where they are making a musical theater live adaptation of their movie Descendants, if you've heard of it. So we're super excited for her. This is her with Corey Cott, who's the Broadway star of Newsies. He originated the role of Jack, and she got to do a musical theater showcase with him that, again, was not in Buffalo. And we had to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to every rehearsal and then to the performance. And I was able to take her all of those times because I don't have to worry where my next client is coming from, because there are an army of people handing out my books every single day, generating business for me. Now, the cool part is Ella has gotten into the book process. She got on TV. She was on NBC as a child author because she wrote her first book, which is this. This is The Fastest Raindrop, if you can see it. This is her board book that she wrote, which is a children's book. That's her first book, and that's us on the set of NBC. And then she just finished, we haven't launched it yet, but she just finished her second book, Super Ella, which is about her as a superhero. She wanted to write a superhero book designed to inspire young girls, because my wife is now obsessed with all the Avengers movies. So this is her second book, which is about to come out. You can see Max playing goalie there. That was a tournament that the championship game ended in a tie. So there was a shootout of penalty kicks, and that's Max diving, jumping in the air, making an awesome save. And you can see the other goalie who's not too happy because Max is an awesome goalie. And then Lily's in the top right. That's her at her dance, at a dance recital. She is our dancer. And again, I've been able to go to all that stuff because I'm not working 70 hours a week. We're at prospecting. Again, I've got 7 books. The 8th one you're going to get a free copy of because you're going to stay around till the end, and I'll tell you how to get that. So my question is, would it be worth it if you had to pay, which you won't, but if you had to pay that $27,000, if you had to invest that $27,000 to have not only become a published author, but have 10, 12 accountants and attorneys handing out your book every single month, would it be worth it? I'm biased, but I believe the answer is yes. So let me break down what you're going to get if we do the work for you. We are going to do your account rep and your project manager are going to do the research to find and identify the right accountants, because you don't want accountants who are securities licensed, right? To identify the right accountants, right attorneys, right professionals, because there might be more than just accountants and attorneys that you can get referrals from. We're going to do the research and find all of those people. Why wouldn't you do this? I get this question all the time. Will my compliance department approve this? We have been approved at 36 different compliance departments, and there's never been an issue because the book is static. Like, it doesn't change. So you get the manuscript approved, and then you get the cover design approved, and you're good to go. Like, the book never changes. So they review it once, and then it's approved, and you're done. We've had issues, I will fully disclose. There are a couple firms that don't allow any outside third party like marketing vendors. So it's not that they don't like the project idea, it's just that they won't let anyone else play in the sandbox. So if you belong to, I think it's Edward Jones and Northwestern Mutual, I think we're probably out of luck. Everybody else is good. So compliance is not an issue. We will build the list for you. If you don't like talking to people, don't do this. I literally had an advisor, is Wells Fargo approved? Yeah, Wells Fargo is not a problem. We literally had a woman who hired us. We did all the work. It takes like 60 days to do the research, build the list, do the marketing, get them to say before you start doing interviews. And we practice with you and train you, and we're going to get to all that in just a minute. But literally, we booked her first 2 interviews, and she didn't show. And I got my account rep got phone calls from the accountants going, I was supposed to do an interview and she didn't show in my office. What the heck? And I called her and I said, Liz, what happened? And she goes, I'm too shy to do this. I'm like, then why did you sign up? I'll give you your money back. Like, that makes no sense. We will send a multi-step Dan Kennedy style direct mail campaign to the accountants and attorneys to get them to say yes. This is area exclusive. So I cannot have 10 advisors in the same town doing this. It just won't work. You'll be competing against each other. So when you enroll, I will immediately get your enrollment form before we even schedule your onboarding call in the first 24 hours. We will make sure we don't have someone else in your area. If we do and we can't, your area is not big enough, we'll just refund your money and cancel you. Now, if you're in Manhattan, we could obviously fit more than one advisor in Manhattan, and that wouldn't be a problem. If they don't respond to direct mail, we will do an email campaign to get them to say yes. On the flip side, this won't work in a tiny town. We had this problem in a town in Colorado where there's like population 3,000. And we got like 4 interviews with CPAs and attorneys, and we sent like 3 different campaigns. We just couldn't get any more. There just weren't enough of them. So if you live in a tiny town, don't do it. It won't work. But if you're near a big city and you're not that far away, we can pull it off. If they don't respond to email, we'll send LinkedIn messages. If they don't respond to that, we'll physically call them ourselves to book the interview. We will write all your interview questions for you. We have a multiple Emmy award-winning team that will practice your interview with you and coach you so that you become a good interviewer. You don't have to be Oprah. No one's going to cry or jump on a couch. Like, you literally just have to read questions, but you have to sound like you're talking, and we'll practice with you. We will teach you how to record the interview. We will type up every word of every recording for you. We will edit every transcript for you. Our multiple Emmy award-winning team will write the chapter about you. We'll write the introduction. We'll write the conclusion. We'll write the back cover copy. We'll come up with the title with you. Again, we're going to do all the work. Our award-winning graphic design team is going to do your front cover, your back cover, your spine, your layout. We're going to publish it to Amazon so people can literally buy it on Amazon, and Amazon will print and ship the book to their door. We will publish it to Kindle so that people can buy it and read it on their smartphones. We will do an Amazon bestseller campaign to get your book to number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, which counts, the top 5 in its category on Amazon, so that then you can republish with an Amazon bestseller seal on the front cover, and you can say, I am an Amazon bestselling author. We will do all 27 steps to run your book launch party for you, including the invitations. We will help you keep in touch every single month with that networking event. We'll teach you what to do. And if you add all of that up, you get $27,000. But wait, there's more. We have 3 different levels of our service, and I'll tell you what those are in just a minute. But again, you're not going to pay $27,000. Matt said, if you're going to do this for my folks, I want a brain dead, absolutely irresistible. I'd have to be insane not to take advantage of this discount, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. But would it be worth it if you had to invest $27,000 to become a published author with 10 to 12 accountants and attorneys handing out your book every single month to their clients? Would it be worth it? This is Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, who says, if you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. So you've got to do something different in order to get different results. When I asked how many referrals you got from accountants last month, a whole lot of you put 0 or 1. If you want to get that number different, you've got to do something different. I believe that we are the easy button for this, but there are 2 big reasons why you won't do it. And I will just get those out of the way right now. Number 1 is procrastination. This isn't the first web class you've attended where you've gotten a great idea, taking good notes, but then you didn't do it. And you didn't do it because it was a lot of work on your part, or because the phone rang, a client called, your kid got sick, your wife said, go pick something up for me. I had a client literally earlier today who rescheduled because they have to put their dog down. I mean, life happens, right? I understand. And then the other one is the money. $27,000 would be a significant investment. So I'm going to give you a brain dead, irresistible 24-hour, dramatic discount to get you over the procrastination, because the discount goes away in 24 hours, and to get you over the money, because you're not going to pay anywhere close to $27,000. In fact, again, if you want, I can show you how to get it for free. So again, we're going to write a book for you without you having to write it. We're going to throw the party for you, and we're going to teach you how to stay in touch so that you get the results that you saw David and Paul and all of our other clients get from this project. So again, our regular price for the gold level of the program, which is the one we're talking about now, where we're doing everything for you, is $27,000. The deadline is to get you to take action, as is the discount. The discount, if I'll tell you in a second, if all it does is turn you into a published author, would it be worth it? If all it does is get you just 1 CPA or attorney, sending you 1 client a month, would it be worth it? And if all it does is give you a party where potential clients ask for your autograph to get their picture taken with you and can't wait to meet you, is it worth it? Again, regular price is $27,000. We're doing a 50% off flash sale down to $13,500, which is crazy. However, you're not going to pay that because we're going to split it up into 6 payments for you over 6 months. So it's $2,250 a month for 6 months, because on average, the process takes from start to finish 6 months. It takes us about 2 months to get everything up and running, marketing going, you approve the list, you get coached, and then them to start saying yes to schedule interviews. So it's going to take about 60 days before you're doing the interviews. Then you need about 10 or 12 interviews. If you do 1 a week, that's 3 months. And then the last month is us publishing the book, doing the party, and getting it to bestseller status on Amazon. Now, 6 payments covers our cost of covers the $13,500. If it takes you longer than those 6 months, then you keep paying. Because we have had clients who stalled, who didn't get their interviews done for whatever reason. If it's a delay on your end, you keep paying. If it's our fault, we won't keep charging you. So that is the gold level. I'll tell you what silver and platinum are in just a second, and we'll talk about how you can get it for free. I went to Syracuse University for undergrad. As I mentioned, my parents spent $120,000 on that education, and my degree is not in financial planning. So if I had that 120 grand back, I could do one heck of a job marketing for that. You all also probably have houses, $200,000-$300,000 maybe, that are a hole in your pocket because you pay your mortgage every month, you pay your bills every month, you have to fix something on your house every month, but it doesn't give you any money unless you're renting it on Airbnb. That money could have generated a ton of marketing. The good news is you don't have to pay that. You're just going to invest $2,250 a month with me for 6 months. And that's at finadvisormarketingprogram.com. I will type that link in the chat box, but let me tell you, as my co-host Kevin Harrington likes to say, but wait, there's more. Okay. We have bonuses no matter what level you enroll at. I conduct weekly office hours every week via Facebook Live. We normally charge $197 a month for that. You can jump on every week and ask me any questions you want about any marketing, not just this project. I host a monthly mastermind group where we do 2 to 3 hours of the latest of what's working for all of our advisor clients. So you get access to that every month, along with the membership site where all of our members talk to each other. And that's, again, the best of what's working for every service that we offer. So you'll learn some really cool other marketing strategies and personal development you can use, not just this. You get enrolled in my Book of the Month program. Every month, I'm going to send you a physical box. It's going to have a DVD of the 2 to 3 hours of training. It's going to have an audio CD of the best Interview the Expert call I did that month for you to listen to in your car. and it's going to have my favorite business or personal development book of that month physically shipped to you in a box every month. We normally charge $4.97 for that. Your account rep and project manager are going to work with you to deliver this program for you, but you will also have direct email access to ask me any questions you want. That's a total of $991 a month in bonuses that is absolutely free no matter what level you sign up for. Now, if you want it for free, there's two ways. One, once it works, how many new clients do you need each month before you can stop running all over town doing seminars or cold calling or direct mail or buying online leads, going to boring networking events or endlessly chasing prospects? Once it's generating more than enough clients every month to pay for itself, in essence, it's free. Now, if you want it really for free, we have a deal where if you send us 3 other clients, 3 other folks who hire us, then yours becomes free and you stop paying. So for example, I had someone literally today, one of our advisors, he's an accountant in Miami, Florida. And he said, hey, this guy I interviewed today for my book on international tax planning would be a great prospect for you. I talked to him about the program. He's interested. So you could even get the prospects for us from the accountants and attorneys we get you. If they turn around and do their own book and you get 3 of them to do their own book with us, then you stop paying and yours becomes free. No, you can't wait till you get them all to then get it for free, because if you wait and say, I'm going to go talk to somebody now, it's never going to happen. No one's ever managed to pull that off because they don't, you get enroll now and then you can go get it for free later. Now, what if you already know CPAs and attorneys? If you know 10 or 12 CPAs and attorneys, maybe they are referring, but not enough. Maybe they're not referring, but they would know who you were if you called. They would pick up the phone. Then you want to enroll in our silver level. If you supply the CPAs and attorneys, we'll tell you what to tell them to get them to say yes. But if you do the manual labor of getting the guests, of getting those 10 to 12 CPAs and attorneys, then I will dramatically reduce your cost down from $2,250 to $1,497, because a large part of our manual labor is getting those CPAs and attorneys to say yes. Now, if you really want to explode your practice, the platinum level is called our Clone Your Top Clients level, because you get everything in gold, but we do a second book where you interview 10 of your top clients, and then you get a client storybook. And then we do a client storybook launch party where all of your clients come and they bring relatives and friends, and you get a ton of referrals. And the other cool thing is that program goes for 12 months, because every single week you're going to interview another client on your podcast that we're going to produce for you. So literally you'll have, let's say, 12 interviews of CPAs and attorneys and 40 interviews of clients. So you'll literally have a show every single week that a client will be sharing with their friends and family members, because they're on a podcast, generating referrals for you. So because we're doing a show every single week, it's $29.97. And then we'll actually help you throw quarterly themed client appreciation events that your clients will actually want to come to. So silver, the accountants and attorneys sign up for silver. You want us to go get you new relationships with clients, CPAs and attorneys, go for gold. If you want to do a weekly show where you interview your clients as well and do a client storybook and a client party and a quarterly themed client appreciation event, go for platinum. Again, that's at finadvisormarketingprogram.com. I am going to take a breath for a minute and tell you how to get your book for free. If you'd like a copy of my book, The Ultimate Financial Advisor Marketing Program, just shoot me an email. I'm typing my email in the chat box, Seth@marketdominationprogram.com. Your subject line is going to be free book, and then your physical mailing address is going to be in the body of the email. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to hire us in order to get a free copy of the book. It's going to probably be out in early September. So if you shoot me an email with the subject line free book and your address, I will snail mail you a copy of the book when it comes out. I am now going to leave it open for Q&A. Matt, do you have any comments that you want to share if you're still around?
I am still around. Do I have any comments? No, besides the fact that, I really do think this is a great system. Books changed my ability for speaking and getting my foot in the door with just about anybody. So, if the advisors are willing to do the limited amount of work that you're talking about here, I think that they're going to be very, very happy.
Yeah, we do all the work. All you got to do is the interviews. That's it. You go do the interview. The interview is going to take 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how chatty the CPA or attorney is. literally we will do every single other thing unless it's silver, in which case you're bringing in the accountants and attorneys, but we'll tell you what to say. And then obviously platinum, you'll have a weekly podcast that goes for a year as opposed to 10 to 12 episodes of the accountant and attorney show that you're going to do at the silver or gold level. Email is not correct. Seth at Market Domin. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Thank you, Eric. Seth at Market Domination Program. I forgot the N. Program.com. Thank you, Eric, for catching my typo. Okay, let me make sure I typed the URL right too. Let's get that. Yes, that is correct. FinAdvisorMarketingProgram.com/pricing. If you go there, you will see the link where you can order silver, gold, and platinum. I believe we have two. I believe we have 2 gold slots, 4 silver, and 1 platinum at the moment available with our current staffing. If they get sold out, then we'll put you can get on a waiting list for after we finish up with our current round of clients or hire more people. Do we have any other questions from our audience? You mentioned how well the book worked for you when you were getting started. Does it still really work today? How will I know that? Yeah, it still works. I've written 7 now because every book I write, I get more business. I'm writing 8, but obviously 8 is a marketing book. How will I know that it still works? So here's what's going to happen. Ideally, you're going to have the party. You're going to stay in touch. The CPAs and attorneys are going to hand out your book every month, and you're going to get phone calls from their clients who are going to say, my CPA and attorney told me to call you. That's really interesting psychologically because a CPA or attorney isn't going to say, call this advisor. He's going to say, I'm in this book. You should check it out. Like he's going to say, look at me. I'm so cool. I'm in this book. And you're going to go, the client's going to go read the book or maybe not even read it. And the client's going to say, oh, I do need a second opinion on my investments, on my financial planning. My CPA just gave me this book. This guy must be good. He's in it. He wrote it. I should just give him a call. Like I've literally had prospective clients walk in my office with the book still in shrink wrap saying, hey, my attorney gave me this. And I said, I should meet with you. And I said, you didn't even read the book. And people literally say, I read the back cover or you wrote a book that's good enough for me. I'm like, geez, I would read every word, but okay, I'll happily help you. How will you know what keeps working? Because you keep getting business from it. Does that answer your question, Aaron? Another question, how much does it cost? How much does a book cost per unit? So it's going to depend on how long your book is. On average, it depends on how many you order. You pay our print cost. We're not making money printing books. You can mark it up. You can put $14.95, $19.95 on the back. You can sell it for whatever you want. I would let the CPAs and attorneys buy them from you at cost and not try and make any money on the book because they'll buy more copies. If it's $3 versus 15, they'll buy 5 times as many books and hand them out to more people, which is what you want. Our average cost per book is like $3 to $4 a copy. You buy hundreds, it goes down. We can print 1 at a time. We can print 5, 10, any quantity you want, but it's like $3 or $4 a book. How can we see the books you produce for other advisors so I know what it looks like? I'm showing you stacks of them. Book, Roadmap to Retirement, book, Aging in Place, book. I mean, it's a book. Yeah, it looks like a book. Secure Your Future, book. Stop Hiding from the IRS, book. Book, it looks like a book. I don't know how else to answer. It looks like a book. It's a book. It walks like a book. It talks like a book. It looks like a book. Other questions? Going once. Going twice. Anybody else? Do we have testimonials from other clients? Yeah. Like the last 30 or 40 books we did. We've had people who had 50 people at their book party. We've had people who had 100. We had one advisor who literally, I think it was a mortgage broker who bought 400 copies and sent them out with a letter to every single one of their clients. It varies depending. I mean, some people get luckier than others, but obviously I can't imagine doing a party where you didn't have at least 30, 40 people in the room, if not more. And if you didn't get leads every month, I'd be surprised. Oh, wait, hang on. I missed one. Monthly cost on the platinum, is that for 6 months or 12? Platinum is 12 months. So silver and gold are 6 months. Platinum is 12 months because, again, we're airing 50 episodes of your show. You're going to have actually like 52 episodes of your podcast. So the podcast, is a bonus on silver and gold. If your compliance department will let you do it, we will do it at no extra charge. If they won't let you do it, that's fine. The book is 80% of it. If you are platinum, we're going to do your show. We're producing a show every single week for you. So that's why the cost is for 12 months, and that's why it's higher, because it's a lot more work. Awesome question. Thank you. You're producing the podcast from the interview tapes. Yes. So again, we're going to teach you how to record so you get decent quality audio. Like, don't go to a restaurant and record the interview and meet for coffee because you'll have background noise. We're going to edit it, but we're not miracle workers. But that's all in your account rep's going to train you how to record it. And we're going to, for your podcast, you're going to have an intro, you're going to have an outro, you're going to have music. It's going to sound like a real show. It's not just the recording. Like, we make it sound professional. We have audio engineers and all that good stuff. Do you consult with us about the subjects for the book? Yeah, absolutely. So your account rep and project manager are going to help you determine what should the focus be. Who's your ideal client? Who sees them? Do you just want accountants and attorneys? Should you have mortgage broker? Should you have a real estate attorney? Should you have divorce? Depending on the topic you want, is going to affect what professionals we're going to go get for you. So again, every single book is custom. No two are the same because every single advisor is different. They're going to be in different cities. They're going to have different interview subjects on different topics. So we may have done 10 books on retirement planning, but they're all in different cities. So everything is different. So you can't write the same book because you're interviewing different people. If I invest in the program, can I set the start date for a later date and time? So are you asking, Chad, do you want to start now so you get the discount, but you're not ready yet and you want to delay like a week or two? Is that what you're asking? If you're asking, can you buy now to get the discount and delay? Yes, the answer is, I'll give you a tentative yes, you can do that. It depends on how long you want to delay. Like, if you want to delay a week because you're going on vacation or something that's totally fine. If you say, can I start now and start in a month? I'd have to tweak our system because otherwise it's going to automatically try and set up your onboarding call right away. But we could work something out. And we could always, like, if you started a month early, you could add a month of free to the end or something. We'll figure it out. Yes, you can start now and start doing stuff later. I'm fine with that. Matt messaged me and said, don't turn away their money. We do 2 major marketing seminars. One is the first 2 weeks of September. Okay, so you're going to be busy. So if you wanted to start now, enroll now. You'll tell your account rep who's going to call you like tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. You're going to tell them, they'll call you in 24 to 48 hours. You're going to tell them, I talked to Seth, I'm stalling. We're going to start mid-September. That's fine. Or you could do your onboarding call now. It takes us time to do all the research. So you might want to start now, do the research. Let us do the research. Let us do the marketing. When you hire us today, you're not going to do interviews tomorrow. Like, we've got to talk to you, pick the topic, do the research, get you to approve it, do the marketing campaign. Like, it's going to be 45 to 60 days before you do your first interview anyway. So you're going to be fine, but totally up to you, but we'll work with you either way. Signed up for silver. Awesome. Congrats. Signed up for gold. Awesome. Sweet. All right. So we've got 1 gold slot left, 1 platinum, and 3 silvers. Chad says, thank you. Okay. Chad, what type of seminars do you do? Because that's one of our other services, is filling the room with the right people. Because there's a lot of vendors in our industry that people have not been thrilled with their results, but they like ours a lot better. But that's a whole separate conversation. Okay. I know Scott Keffer. Scott's awesome. Okay, you're fine. We love Scott. I've known Scott for years. Okay, are you doing did you do the co-book with Scott and the box of stuff that you send out, like the retirement box, the toolkit? Yes, you did. Awesome. Are you email me. Let's have a separate conversation because we have a system on marketing marketing box that we did for one of his advisors that we can talk about. Okay. Anybody else? Other questions? All right. We got 1 platinum, 1 gold, 3 silver left. Again, for those of you, I apologize, who thought the webinar was 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific instead of 3 Eastern, and you're watching this late, you're going to see this later tonight. I will hopefully have it rendered and emailed out to you by 6 o'clock so that you will see it, even though you won't see it live. Hopefully there will be slots left when hopefully you will get in anyway. You're doing a book with Kevin Harrington right now through Scott. You mean Kevin, my podcast co-host and client and partner? Awesome. Yes, Kevin and I recorded a podcast earlier today. Okay. All right. Any other questions? To dismiss. Okay. I do not see any. All right. Awesome. So you're going to go to finadvisormarketingprogram.com/pricing and get one of the slots that is left. And you're going to email me for your free book. And I will hopefully see you on the other side when we get to work with you. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. I'm on board for gold. Awesome. Yes, get it through the website. Okay, awesome. Congratulations. I think our gold slots are gone now. So we've got silver and platinum. If you know what, if I need to, I'll talk to my team and see if we can open up one more gold slot because we got a whole bunch of people who thought it was at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, and I don't want them mad at Matt. Okay. All right, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Congratulations to those of you who signed up. Matt, thanks so much for having me. We look forward, as always, to working with you and start doing an awesome job for your tribe. Any other parting comments before we go, Matt?
Nope. I'm super happy. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for taking advantage of this awesome opportunity. We rarely bring anything to our audience like this. So we were super happy, Seth, that you were able to do it. And that all of these people are going to have the opportunity to really seriously start taking control of their referrals. So thanks, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We look forward to working with you.